the things that I've been thinking about for several years is about living green. I think all of us are an environmentalist to a point. We don't like things being trashed. We want things picked up. You know, you want clean air, clean water. These are things that we want. That's fine. So then we get all these green initiatives to help the environment. But they don't. They're a money grab. And I've been thinking about this for a long time, that it seems like the things they rail against, oil and nuclear and coal, are the three things, nuclear actually being the cleanest, surprisingly. They're the cleanest forms that are going to get us to where we want to go. But it's like everybody wants to sit there and end all these things because they don't want us going anywhere. They want us still. And a lot of the powers that be, if you look at the way things are done over in Europe and all that, they're only done to benefit the elite. They're only done as long as there's money involved for about 7 people. They're not done for the benefit of society. I've always said if you took the government money out of windmills, they'll never put another one up. So what is green to me? Green is, well, of course, healthier food. We are basically poisoning ourselves with our food. If I get, like pasta, for instance, if I buy pasta that was imported from, I buy stuff that's imported from Greece. I can find it at a Middle Eastern store where I live. I don't get sick because all it is ground up wheat. Okay. And things of that nature. Farm fresh eggs are better, these things, the other. And, our food doesn't have minerals and stuff in it anymore either. Why do you have to enrich food? Well, why? Because in order to get more yields, you've stripped all the nutrients out. So that's a start. But part of recycling, true recycling, there's no money in it. True recycling is fixing your car to make it last another year. They don't want us doing that. Fixing your television set instead of buying a new one. You can't do that anymore. Repairing your appliances with a $3 part rather than throwing a 50-pound item into a landfill. Driving your car an extra year, like I said. Fixing things, repurposing things. When I was a kid, we had a guy in town that had about 2 to 3 acres of old washing machines, washers and dryers and all that. And he rebuilt these things and resold them. So they didn't end up in landfills, junkyards, scrap, all that. No, they ended up getting repurposed, rebuilt, and ending up in people's homes. And truthfully, there's probably still dozens of them around. I have an old set of Whirlpools that are probably 50 to 60 years old that still work like they were brand new. Nothing's made to last. That's why you can go to yard sales, buy things that were made in the 60s and 70s and get another 10 to 15 years out of them. I've got a 35, 40-year-old coffee pot at the house. And still works really good. I use it as a backup. These things we overlook because they take effort. But we're told that living green, getting light bulbs, and Priuses, and don't get me wrong, I think the Toyota Prius is a marvel of engineering wasted on the worst human beings in the world. It's hybrid technology. And here's the thing. And this is why I've always said gas mileage is a scam, because in the 60s and 70s we were figuring out how to get 35 and 40 miles a gallon in cars, And there was too much money to be made. In the 80s, we figured out. My dad had a Toyota Camry that was a diesel, had a Hilux truck engine in it. It was one of about 1,000 that was imported. We found out later. That little 4-cylinder Hilux diesel, 50 miles a gallon. My dad's best friend had a couple of VW diesel Rabbits, 45, 50 miles a gallon. Hey, guess what? They didn't meet emissions requirements and were banned from the country. But you can buy a local diesel here that gets 14 miles a gallon. So that's better for the environment. There's no money in innovation unless the right people can capitalize on it. Nikola Tesla found that out. Wireless charging on your cell phone's been a thing for 100 years. Well, not 100 years, but you know what I'm saying. Wireless charging has been a thing for a very long time. It's interesting, like my Oldsmobile. If I drive it sanely at 65 miles an hour and keep it tuned, it gets 35 miles a gallon on the interstate. Yeah. Brand new Chevrolet doesn't do that. So, the green initiative to me has just been a scam because I've come to realize that true recycling, there's no money in it. We could generate all the power we wanted to if we'd put incinerators up and burn our own trash. There's enough technology out there that smoke would come out clean. And we could burn our trash, and we could take 100 loads of trash, turn it down to 1 load in the landfill rather than 100 loads in the landfill. It's just food for thought, man. We're getting taken for a ride. And here's the part that mystifies me is y'all know it. We all know it. You look at those windmills, we know they're a joke. We know they're not doing anything. We know that solar is a joke. We could be doing 10 times better on solar. It's... What are we doing as a people? Because I'll tell you right now, we just act like it doesn't affect us, but it affects all of us.